What's up? It's Eddie from Eddie, Jobo, and Erica with George Lopez.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
Welcome to town.
Thank you.
How'd this show go last night?
You know, when it's sold out, man, it's hard to complain.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a big enough place. The Rosemont is a great theater. Rosemont is a great city. You know, Chicago's a great city, and you know, I've been coming here for a long, long time. So I feel like it's always been like a second home. You know, Chicago.
Well, it's good to see you, and I see you everywhere now because you're on twice now. WCIU, the
Yes.
U6 and 10:30 weeknights now, and it's obviously important enough. We're here at the U Studios.
Yeah. You know what? It is important enough for me. I never leave the hotel room during the day. So, but the fact that I believe in the show and I believe in the U, and Chicago's a great city for the George Lopez show when it was on ABC, and then now, you know, being on twice on the U. It's a good show. It's a show that, you know, in syndication, I think will find a larger audience than it had when it was on the network.
Yeah, and it's good here in Chicago because you know, Cubs and Sox games show up on the U all the time. I just don't see. The other night was the first week, and they said, "We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress." I said, "Wait, you're the U. You got your own shows. You can start them whenever you want."
Yeah.
But I realized it was about 9:48, and they just had to finish the other stuff so they could get a complete George Lopez.
That's
during
hilarious.
its premiere week.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's been a great couple of weeks in syndication. You know, I actually have become a fan of the show and just in watching the shows that, you know, you kind of forget that you've done. You know, and watching some of the earlier episodes. And the one thing I've learned is I should have just stuck to one hairstyle all 100 shows. I had some long hair. I've had some long hair. I've had hair part in the middle. I had ponytail almost. I mean, crazy hair. I should have just agreed on one hair.
I didn't know we were going to do the video thing, or I would have done my hair a little bit. You like my shirt?
That's good. I like it. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Ringo Starr. Nice.
So
I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I would be honored if I ever wrote a joke that George would use in his show.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
So I wanted to ask you. We had a survey the other day. I know your show is in English. Oh, first of all, when you see some of those old shows, is it good? I think syndication is also cool because you know how people always say, "Remember that one Seinfeld?" and they know it by heart because it was on so much.
Yeah, you know what? One of the 120 shows that I've done, I think my favorite show was the one where my father-in-law had a brother that was going to leave Cuba, and it was my wife's. It was our anniversary, and I told my wife I was going to go fishing, but we went on a boat to meet him on a raft in the middle of the ocean. And we ended up picking up 4 Haitian guys, and we thought they were Cubans, but they were Haitians.
Well, they're with the neighborhood.
And I tell them, hey, welcome to America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And then a helicopter flies over and goes, attention, you are in international waters, and everybody jumps off the boat. Hilarious.
Well, so is there anything from early episodes that you think might look dated, or is it all pretty relevant still?
Well, other than my appearance will look dated, you know, I've seen myself mature on TV for the 6 years that we were on, the 6 seasons. No, I think the show holds up. I think the show holds up, and I think that it was unique enough and different enough in the approach that it will have some longevity in syndication.
Recently, Nielsen SoundScan came out with figures that said for the first time in history, 9 of the top 20 shows for 18 to 34-year-old viewers in America are Spanish language shows. Did you know that?
It's frightening. It's a frightening statistic. And you know what the frightening thing is? It was all on the same TV.
Here's another thing.
They just have one TV and 3 million people looking at it.
Okay, with that in mind, there's also a bunch of laws going up in local Chicago suburbs about trying to restrict the total number of people that can live in any one place. And a lot of people are crying that's directed at a certain group.
Well, you know, it's funny that in Asia you can stack people, but in the United States you can't. right? They've managed to somehow have 1 billion people and make it work. But in the United States, whether it's language, I mean, you go to Europe and people speak 5 languages, and that's actually viewed as a sign of education, a sign of depth. And here, unless you speak English, nobody wants to hear another language.
Yeah, it is. I find it kind of arrogant myself. My kids are taking Spanish and Chinese now.
Well, you know, anybody that's taking French is completely missing the target.
Oh la la.
Yeah. Well, they don't shop.
I don't think the French are coming.
Okay. Not even times. You don't see protests about it anyway.
No, and you know the French parade isn't as colorful as the Mexican Day Parade.
We had 2 Mexican parades, 2 different weekends.
You know what's funny is that the parade route actually runs up right against the border. It's the longest route. They would just hope people would just keep going.
Hey, when you see that somebody, now you're established as anybody could be. When you see somebody take a specific joke or a theme that you do or anything, are you offended or flattered or maybe a little of both?
Well, I think for any comedian, I think you want to make your stuff like really intricate enough that they can't take it. That if they take it, they can't perform it. You know what I mean? So I mean, you know, guys have used things and things have been kind of parallel thought out in comedy because I mean, it's not, you know, it's not really that. There's a lot of topics. Sometimes they cross, but what you want to do is you want to make your stuff unique enough to you. I mean, that's when you really become kind of stand out. So that if they take it, nobody can really kind of do it.
But this TV thing about all the 9 of the 20 shows. So I went on the air and I did a stupid bit about. I came up with the names of the shows, and I had like All My Cholos, Hannah Santana.
Pretty good.
Are You Smarter Than the Border Patrol?
That's pretty good.
You know, but now I did it, and people actually got mad, and most people laughed at it. But do you ever get complaints because you dabble and even play with stereotypes and stuff in your show?
Well, you know, stereotypes is I think an overused term. I think there's just differences culturally. Like those things I thought were funny. So I mean, we become so kind of consumed by what's politically correct. I actually don't subscribe to political correctness, but then I kind of I police myself, you know, to not go far enough. But yeah, I when I was doing the show, and they said, "Why did you call it George Lopez?" And at that time, I said, "Just Shoot Me" was on. That they would have been that show, or Alias. Or Everybody Loves Ramon, you know, and stuff like that. So I beat you to it.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see you on the weeknights at 6 and 10:30. I was handed the note to make sure I read that. But I've caught, I think of the 10 in the first week, I saw at least 7 of them because I'm a big fan. But they're running a good time, and we're good to have you. I'm glad to have you in town for all this too.
I'm gonna actually go and airbrush 10 pounds off all my billboards in Chicago.
Oh, you didn't like those?
We'll take care of it.
It wouldn't have been my favorite picture to use.
Oh. Hey, by the way, do you have a?
Sorry.
Does George Lopez have a MySpace?
I do, yeah. Whatever, George Lopez.org. I don't know what it is. But I do.
What about an iPod?
I do have an iPod. And I have a bunch of drinking songs on it.
So you just plug it in.
Charlie Rich. Wait a minute. My favorite ones are Charlie Rich, Behind Closed Doors, Arizona, and Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold.
Arizona by, what was that guy? Mark
Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
All right.
We start crying in the dressing room. We're gonna play it tonight.
All right. Well, are the Cubs gonna do it?
You know what? That would be great. It would be great.
All right.
It would be great. And mark it down that when Lou Piniella got thrown out in June or whenever that was in July, when he got thrown out of the game and he went nuts, it changed the rest of the year.
Did you ever have a tantrum on the set?
No, I'm too cool for that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you did, it was.
I was trying to recall
what episode.
Actually, somebody used I banned cell phones on the stage, and somebody used a phone one time, and I went off on them.
And that's another thing about it being the George Lopez show is you're really the director, producer, and tell everybody to shut up.
It doesn't hurt.
Okay.
It doesn't suck.
All right, George Lopez, we converted the, our Comcast couch.
I like it, man. It's
into
nice.
chairs.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.